Hello everyone. So in this video I'm going to explain about Java array of objects. So to learn about Java array of objects, first of all will have to know what is an array in Java and what are the objects in Java and how to create objects in Java. Then we'll look at what is a Java array of objects, and after in the end we're going to see some practical examples related to Java array of objects and a sort function to sort the elements in the Java array of objects. So without further ado, we'll see what is an array in Java. An array of in Java is a collection of similar type of elements which has contiguous memory location. And Java array is index based, which means the first index will be zeroth index, the second value will be at first index, and so on. We can store primitive values or objects in an array in Java. So we can either store primitive values which are basically of eight types: int, byte, short, long, float, double, boolean, and character. We can also store objects in Java array, which we are going to see in a while. Just like C and C++, the arrays in Java can be single or multidimensional. So to declare a Java array, first of all, we'll have to put the data type followed by the square brackets and then the name of the array. Like here, string square brackets and the cars array. And to initialize a Java array with some values, we'll have to use the curly braces. And we can also create an array dynamically in Java using a new operator. So this will create a new array. This will provide some memory in the heap for the array. And what are how to create objects in Java and what are the objects in Java. So objects in Java are created from a class. First we'll create a class, then to access the data members and functions of that class, we will create objects of that class. So when we create an array in Java, basically we are basically creating an object of Java array class. So it has a memory location allocated to it. The class itself does not take up any memory location, but the objects of that class takes up memory defined in that class. Software objects and real world objects are same. For example, if a dog software object in a program and a real life dog, they both have some same name, breed, color, and they both will have functionalities like barking, running, etc. The characteristics of Java object are state, behavior, and identity. The state represents the data value of an object. The behavior represents the behavior like functionality of the object, and the identity is typically implemented by is via a unique ID. The value of ID is not visible external use to the external user. However, it is used internally by the JVM to identify each object uniquely. So we can initialize an objects in three ways: by reference variable, by a method, or by a constructor. We'll look at how to do this. And the another thing in Java is that we have anonymous objects. So to create anonymous objects, we don't have to assign it to a separate variable. We just, for example, if I want to calculate the factorial of 5, I'll just do new calculation dot function factorial 5, which is a function in the calculation class. So in this way, I don't have to assign it to a variable. So yeah. So now we'll see how to create objects in Java. So for example, in this program, as you can see, I have a class called student. The student has three variables which are name, ID, and branch. It has a default constructor and a parameterized constructor. It also has an insert function and a show function to display all the values. So in my program, I am creating an student1 object of student class. So by first of all I am creating it by reference variable. So I will assign the values using the reference variables, which is student1 dot name is equal to Akshat, student1 dot id is 1, student1 dot branch is CSE. So and after that I'm giving show to print all these values. And after that I'm going to declare initialize an object by using method. So here I'm creating another student object which is student2, and I am using a method, insert method, to insert these values in the class. And then using the show. And after in the last I'm using the parameterized constructor to use all these values, which will automatically initialize my class with these all these values. I don't have to use the reference variable, or I don't have to use a insert function. And then I'm using the show function to display the values. I'll just compile it real quick. Yeah, as you can see, first of all, by the reference variable, it has shown me this, and then by using the insert method, it is showing me this, and the last by using the constructor, it is showing me this. Okay, so now we have seen what are the arrays in Java and what are the objects in Java. It is a good time to study about what are the Java array of objects. So Java array of objects is defined by its name, stores an array of objects. Like I said earlier, that Java array can contain primitive data types or Java objects. So now we'll look at how Java object arrays are created and initialized. Objects are not stored in. So first of all, we will have to note that objects are not stored in Java array. It is very important to note that when we say array of objects, it is actually the reference of that object that is stored in the array and not the object itself. An array that contains class type elements are known as Java array of objects. So and now let's see how to declare and initialize an array of objects. To declare the array of objects, we'll have to use the class name, then the name of the array followed by square brackets, and then the new operator, and then the class name again, followed by the square brackets. Okay, so now we'll jump straight to the Sublime editor to see a practical example about the Java array of objects. So here I have a class called athlete. It has some variables like name, ID, sport, weight, height, etc. I have a default constructor athlete. I have a parameterized constructor athlete, and I'm using a setter to insert data. The setter function is same as insert function. We can use that also. And in the end, I have a show function to display all the values. So first of all, I'll just demonstrate how to use the anonymous objects in Java. Yeah. So here, as you can see that I have basically implemented an anonymous object in Java, and it is just showing me these values. I have not assigned assign a variable or assign its value to any variable. So now we'll insert. I have here created three arrays. The first one is the cricket array, the other is soccer array, and the last one is the tennis array. Each of these arrays belongs to the class athletes, and the cricket array can store 5 elements, the soccer array can store 4 elements, and the tennis array can store at most 2 elements. So to initialize the cricket array, I am just using the parameterized constructor. Here I am using the parameterized constructor to give the values to the object, and here I am just using the show function to display all those values. So I'll just demonstrate it to you. So as you can see that it has given me all these three values. The first one is Rahul Dravid, the other one is Virat Kohli, and the last one is Josh Butler. So in the same way, I can give the values of I can populate the soccer array as well and the tennis array as well. So to show you, here I am using the reference variable. So first of all, I have initialized the soccer variable in the for loop, and then I'm giving its ID, and for the sports all will have the same sport, which will be soccer. So I'm using a for variable, and then I'm using the reference variable for the each object in the array, and then I'm using the show function. So as you can see here, it has given me these two values, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. So in the same way, we can populate the tennis array as well. So now we'll see a sort function which will basically sort all the values in an array, in an Java array of objects. So for this, I have created an employee class. The class will have only two variables, which will the first will be name of the employee, and the second will be the employee ID. Here I'm using the parameterized constructor, and these two functions are basically overridden. So we'll discuss about this in a short while. So first of all, we'll see how this program works. So first of all, I'm creating a Java array of objects, which name is E, and in this array, I am populating it with some employee names and their IDs, as you can see here. So first of all, I will print the values before sorting, and then use the sort function, which is used by using the collections, and then after sorting I'll print the values in the array. So why I have overridden the toString function is that the toString functions basically uh, returns all the values in an array uh, by converting all it to a string. So I have overridden it such that it will give me the name of the employee followed by the name, and the employee ID followed by the employee ID. And there's a function called compare to in Java, which will compare the Java comparable interface is basically used to order in user defined class. So the interface contains only one method, compare to method, which we have overridden. So the compare to function is used to compare the current object with the specified object. We'll get three values. The first of all is positive integer if the current object is greater than the specified object, negative integer if the current object is less than the specified object, and zero if the current object is basically equal to the specified object. So this is what I have done here. So I'll just run this function. It's a simple sorting function. Yeah, so here as you can see that before sorting it has given me this. It is sorting it by using the employee ID. So it is randomly populated initially, and after sorting it has sorted it based on the employee ID. And one more thing is that if the employees have same employee IDs, like in these two rows, it will sort it according to the first letter of the name, like Akshat and Mohit. A comes first. So in this way, we can use some functions with Java array as well. I hope you understood a bit about Java array of objects through this video. So thank you so much.